You like that? You guys like that music? I'll add it to the. You know what it is? Every time I add music to my playlist in this app, or like add it to my liked list, it's like 75% of the time the same band. They just make a lot of different like royalty-free music. It's just all like generically good. And like, I wouldn't say anything like stand out like, oh my god, this is amazing, but like it's all like every time it's like, oh, this is just good, you know? It's crazy. It's really crazy, actually. Top right hand side, our red Terran player is Dragon Phoenix Gaming's Cure. He just comes off a loss against Innovation. Obviously not the best scenario for him in the world. As in the bottom left hand side, the blue Protoss is Dragon Phoenix Gaming's PartinG. It's a little bit of Terran and Protoss now for us. Obviously saw TY Zest earlier. Was probably, I'd say TY Zest maybe the match of the day, but honestly Innovation versus Cure is pretty darn good as well. If it's actually been kind of crazy, actually. It's been a kind of a crazy day. We've had some good games, haven't we? We really, really have. As you see the factory dropping down on the bottom side, so getting that started up. Getting that up and running, as we do see probe getting pushed away a little bit. Marine dealing a little bit of damage here. Obviously, it's the proxied factory from Cure, really just looking to put on some pressure in these early stages and look to see if you can pick up a quick win early on. The probe of PartinG coming away down to the bottom left hand side. Stalker chrono boosting out. And you see a couple of shield batteries from PartinG at the front as well. So he's realizing something is up, of course, because his scout reveals that there's no command center coming into play. He's a little bit aware of something going on. He's looking around. He's expecting something. Just doesn't know what it is just yet. Now the starport building as well. So there's going to be Cure going into... Well, TY did this against Zest as well, right? He showed up with these 3 Hellions and a medevac. Maybe this is just the new thing on the ladder for TvP. A medevac, 3 Hellions, and just dropping in the main. And obviously then the Marines push across the map at the same time. I kind of like it. It's cute, and right now it's a little bit difficult to figure out that that's something that's being done. As you see the Twilight Council on the way up here from PartinG. He has actually added on a second gate yet because he invested into 2 shield batteries. It's actually worst case scenario, I think, here for PartinG, because 2 shield batteries are super expensive and they're not going to help him at all against this drop. Now, yeah, they might help him against the Marines, but the drop's going to do damage enough to maybe just end the game because he's got absolutely nothing. Already 2 probes going down. Let's see how this goes. As we see, obviously the worker count is getting demolished right away here. It's quite a few probes going down. The Stalker's finally in, but it took them a while to get there, right? And that's already 17 workers down, and PartinG is just not going to mess around. He's just going to type out GG. And Cure is going to take a quick game 1 in this best of 3. Time to kind of rush the Terran, you guys think? Okay. Yeah, well, obviously that was not pretty. There's 2 teammates here, both part of Dragon Phoenix Gaming. We have in the top left-hand side the red Terran player Cure, taking on the blue Protoss player PartinG. Let's get this up and ready to go. Alan gonna finish up from PartinG here pretty much right away. As you're gonna see the gateway dropping down. Just getting that gateway rolling. As you do see the probe down to the low ground here. Racks of Cure setting up in the main base. You see our probe moving out across to the upper left-hand side. So away we go for PartinG here, crossing away to see just what is happening, of course, and moving along. This gateway from PartinG going to be finishing up in a moment or two. Just going to see the probe up, ready to nibble at the SCV already. Dealing a little bit of damage to start this off. And the SCV going to go back onto that probe, and PartinG going to take a little bit more damage. Cybernetics core in the main base. As the command center from Q starts up here, SCV going to fight the probe away, and just again going to be seeing the reactor dropping down from QS. Again, that ready to go as a Marine hangs around the high ground. It's going to move down eventually, and the SCV just coming across. Try and hit the natural expansion. This is a much more standard game, of course. No major buildings out on the map. Both players have their expansion up, and so we're really waiting to see what the 2-base tech will be. Of course, from Cure, we kind of day in and day out see the couple of Widow Mines and a couple of Widow Mines and a Medevac, maybe a Hellion before to go for the Reaper Hellion. A, defense against an Adept or so, but B, also very useful when it comes to kind of getting across the map for some extra scouting information. As the factory going to be done soon. Yeah, worth mentioning, by the way, guys, that a couple of people asking about replay pack. I am going to do the replay pack tonight. So these games will be included in the replay pack for subscribers. So if you're interested in that, obviously head on over on the Discord server. Of course, make sure you check out the opportunity to subscribe so you can get your hands on it as well if you're not already. So we'll include all of these games as well as pretty much everything we've casted in April. The only thing I'm not allowed to give out there is the ESL Open Cups. So everything else will be part of that replay pack. Lots of games for you guys to enjoy. That'll be going out tonight. Did you see this Adept just pressing forwards in the blink? Chrono boosting away on the Twilight Council as well. Stalker or two from PartinG just working around and walking around a bit at the front. As we do see the gateway coming up, robotics facility dropping down. And the Cloak Banshee is going to be the choice here this time from QS, so he's going to choose to go towards the Cloak Banshees early in the game. Kind of, try and bring the aggression to his opponent a little bit. But we'll see actually from PartinG, he's going to go in towards the Blink, so that's actually very standard from PartinG as this Adept makes its way up this ramp. A couple of depots raise up and will block off there. Adept still out in the center. Banshee, Cloak, Siege Tank. All of this continuing to build as our Marines are just going to be setting up, and an SCV going to finish the depot. This Marine coming around the top side as well, as you see a couple extra SCVs just popping out here. The Blink going to be finishing up on the Twilight Council. And the third Nexus dropping down as well as the Banshee of Cure comes down the left-hand side. Obviously, you have the setup here to realistically defend this as PartinG, but of course the question becomes, do you build the right stuff? Is the Observer in the right place? I think that's usually the biggest issue, right? Is this Observer where it's meant to be? As it comes out up this right-hand side. It's just going to be moving along then, and obviously that's not in position right away towards the main. This Banshee gets ready, maybe make a move. Some Stalkers coming down. This Pylon Sword, I think, so PartinG is aware. The Stalkers actually blink in the main to the side, so the third base was actually open, but obviously these probes can pull away very easily. And as Q goes into the third, he will still try and push down the bottom side of the map. 2 tanks and Marines. With the Banshees involved, it's a high damage output army. PartinG hasn't actually seen it coming across. He's just kind of expecting it. As he moves up this ramp, he will start to get a couple of shots. Banshee gets a second kill. Yeah, obviously these Stalkers just blinking backwards, trading out without actually taking any losses. Nice from the Banshee to grab a sentry there. Now the tank's going to start sieging as they get a little bit closer. SCV's showing up so you can try and bunker up this position also. Full work is now down. The Stalker's able to get the Banshee and a couple of extra bunkers dropping into play. Tank's still firing. Pylon goes down. The shield batteries will be unpowered. Still going to be seeing the bunkers dropping into play here, and just going to be seeing the first bunker cancels up already. The extra Stalkers from PartinG warping in on the third base, and again, just going to be seeing the rest of these coming through. I think he should be able to get over this and shut down at least these siege tanks. There is one bunker on the top that's finished, though, and a Banshee that's cloaked, dealing a lot of damage as well. Important parts, though, the Immortal staying alive, and while the Stalker count is taking some heavy hits, obviously now the siege tanks are gone, so the scariest part of this is already kind of dealt with. As now one bunker goes down, the next bunker's not finished yet. It will finish. But I mean, shield batteries here keeping these Immortals alive. The Stalkers now able to get the Banshee as well. He actually loses one of the Immortals as the Marines come forwards there, and PartinG didn't really respond in time. Stalkers blinking in. The final little bit of a cleanup here will happen, and the SCV's now taken down too. This next bunker going to take a few more shots as well as a couple of Stalkers blinking back. Marines going to get the Observer. So Observer will go down. More Marines being picked away at as well. PartinG back up into the middle of the map. Raven in production. Siege tank added on. Stimpack is coming through from Cure on the racks. So getting that up as we have Cure now making his way with this Banshee around the bottom side of the map. He'll be moving in toward the main base in a moment or two. As the Stalkers blink in. Whoa, the Banshee is able to get rid of one Stalker. That's about it for the moment as these couple probes continuing to go down. Some nice additional damage here, but only gets 3 before they pull to the shield batteries. Of course, mining time lost hurts as well. As we do see our Stalkers blinking in up here. Tank goes down, and now the Banshee picked off as well. Looks as though we're just going to be... This is a little bit messy from PartinG, perhaps. I mean, the lots of bio here is actually dealing more damage than I suppose is expected. Marauders getting targeted down by these Immortals, but these Immortals are pretty much all that's left. They'll take down the auto turret, and yeah, then we'll kite backwards with all of these units, of course. A few more SCVs will drop in this as they were pulled in to help defend. Cure desperation to try and make sure he doesn't just die here. Stalkers will blink and try and get a Marine, but they don't quite make it there. Still a lot lost, right? I mean, when you look at resources lost, the game's pretty even. Maybe Cure losing a little bit more. He's losing a lot of SCVs right now and losing a lot of mining time as well. But once more, this Banshee is back. Fighting the Stalker right now. We'll go check back in on that in a moment or so. I think the Banshee wins out. No, it just died. Well, meanwhile, the rest of these units here fighting, and the SCVs still pulled into this. Obviously, at this stage, you're losing so much economy as Cure that following up from here is going to be very difficult, especially if this army of PartinG is able to fight through and continue through for the moment. A couple Marauders remaining. The Stalkers will blink through. Siege tank goes down. The Immortals able to get a couple more Marauders. I mean, again, at this point, you're on 32 workers, 40 workers almost killed in the last few moments. And so Cure's at the point where it's just like you've lost so much. That recovery is really, really difficult. Stalkers coming in here, a couple of SCVs going down. The Mule hunted down as well. 2 more Stalkers from PartinG warp into the top. And again, that orbital command of Cure just going to move across in towards the main base. 4th Nexus drops down in the 6 o'clock position, so PartinG will continue to expand himself. As the Stalkers come in, they're going to get themselves the siege tank here. So the siege tank already falling. And again, the rest of this from PartinG pulling back. A couple extra Stalkers building up right now. As you're going to see our Bioforce coming out through the front. Extra Zealots warping in, a Marine gets picked off. Again, the rest of this from PartinG continue to pull back as a couple of Zealots going down. Stalkers coming around, firing away. SCVs being picked away at. So a lot of SCVs being picked away at the moment. The Bioforce still pressing through. A few extra Zealots brought in as our +1 attack upgrade on the Forge is just ticking along, about halfway along here. With the Nexus now finished up from PartinG on the 4th base. The Stalkers continue to kite a little bit. Kind of impressed that Q is still alive here, honestly, with how much PartinG had across the map. I mean, again, there was some messy trades, I suppose. Obviously, this is the last-ditched effort, right? SCVs are pulled, Marines, the tank. This is everything that Cure has. So, yeah, this is going to be it. But I'm still surprised he had something to come across the map and make this happen with, right? It's kind of crazy as GG is called. And PartinG will take a game number 2. So he's going to tie this up 1-1 in the series. And we will get ourselves a 3rd map. Our 3rd and final map of this series will be on Golden Wall. And after this, we will have a ZVZ between Sue and Ragnarok as well to wrap us up for the Spring Championship today. But again, don't forget, The WardiTV European League will be starting up in about an hour and a half's time, so we will have that coming up for you guys. It might be a little bit of downtime between the tournaments, of course. We'll probably put a VOD on for you guys to watch, a real rebroadcast. Obviously, just fill the gap between events so that you guys can stay tuned and then watch Hearthstone, Seoul, TLO, and B go at it in the European League. In the bottom left-hand side, our red Terran player. It is Cure, able to win the first game with that little proxy, but was not able to hold on in game number 2. Just didn't do enough, and then PartinG was able to come across the map and deal a lot of damage. Of course, that does make the blue Protoss player PartinG in the bottom right-hand side as we get this up and running. So yep, just after this, just soon Ragnarok remaining. That will be our last series of the day for this event. Like I said, we'll have some downtime and then another event coming up. But obviously next week's matches in this tournament are fantastic as well. We are hoping, unless something changes, we will be having Cure versus Zest, Innovation versus Solar, Cure versus Solar, Innovation versus PartinG, TY versus Sue, PartinG versus Ragnarok, TY versus Ragnarok, and Zest versus Sue. If that sounds good to you guys, that sounds very, very good to me. It's a lot of great StarCraft. Those games are kind of nutty next week. I think everything is just sick. Then the week after, it's just insane as well. We've got another week of TVZ. Honestly, we've got so many good matches in this tournament. So many good matches. Crazy. Crazy, crazy, crazy. We do have the SCV of Cure making its way out across the far right-hand side. Going to be moving through into the natural, up in towards the main in the near future. It's going to see obviously no Nexus, so you do kind of want to wonder a little bit what's going on. You'll see the Cybercore is going to be a Stalker Chrono Booster, double gas before an expand. Looks like PartinG just wants to expand to the bottom side here. Cure should see the minerals missing, so yeah, PartinG is going to expand to the bottom. You know what? I've not really seen a Protoss player expanding to the bottom of the map. A lot of Protoss is just very happy to expand to the top. Typically, their Nexus comes down a little bit faster than like a Terran's command center, so a Terran CC coming in on the bottom side makes a bit more sense because it lines up a bit better. But yeah, PartinG takes double gas. It means he will have fast attack here off the back of this, and he has a Stargate right in the back corner of the base. I don't even think QS saw the SCS. Okay, he did see the pylon for that, okay. But he doesn't obviously know it's a Stargate just yet. And this without a scan is nigh on impossible to scout, I would say. I mean, how do you see this without just a scanner? You don't get a Reaper in that far. There's no way to get in on this bottom side. Well, actually, there is a way to get on the bottom side now. There's actually no way for the Reaper to get out to the bottom side before coming through the main. So, yeah, it's just not happening. You can even see here, Q actually decided to just bypass the Reaper. So he's just gone straight into the reactor. And that obviously, I think, makes a lot of sense given the map and given the circumstances. There's just very little scouting to be done with that Reaper. So very little to be gained by investing into it. So just bypassing it instead. And obviously, that helps you out too. You know, then you can just be a little bit faster on your factory, go into some units that might actually help you out in the game that much sooner. Now, PartinG with the Stargate is going to opt for the Phoenix. So Chrono boosting out here, getting that up and running. Of course, both these players in the group 0-1 after their starting matches. Q losing to Inno, PartinG losing out to Solar. So both of them would love to get a win here to make sure that this is going to be not a 0-2 start in the league, basically. But when it's played over a few different weeks, it's kind of nice not to have that, as this is a fake hallucination, of course, and then... well, it's a real hallucination, but it's a fake oracle. Hallucinated, and it will get taken down. I kind of like it. You kind of like hallucinating oracles, like, haha, you think I'm going Stargate, but I'm not. But then he actually is going Stargate, it's just with the Phoenix. Yeah, the Banshees obviously aren't great in this scenario, because the Banshees are going to be playing against Phoenix, which can shut them down very easily. Now, if you can zone the Phoenix out with the Marine count, then maybe there's some opportunity there. As Q will be going into this Marine tank Banshee setup, so really looking to get across the map and deal damage. Now, this is a map where it takes a little bit longer to push across. I guess he's going to just push on the top side and make his way towards the main. Now, I like that because you can take down these 3 structures over on this top side very easily. I don't like it because then it takes a long time to actually push into anything else afterwards. You know, if you push on this bottom side, you can get tanks here already, siege up, and make a real play towards the Nexus. Up here, it just feels that a little bit further away, a little bit tougher to get to. So, we'll see how Kira exactly wants to approach it, but for the moment, it does look like he'll just push through the top. As this Banshee goes down the bottom, is this going to get fully intercepted? It's going to be seen. So PartinG sees it, and the Phoenix will turn around. So first Banshee already going to die. So the Phoenix already catching that, and he actually did already cancel Cloak, actually. So no Cloak here. He will keep on going for the second Banshee. Or does he actually restarts Cloak? Maybe he was thinking he didn't want Cloak, but now he's going to start again. Or maybe he starts again to scare PartinG a little bit, because obviously Cloak wouldn't be done by now. So maybe a mind game or so there, as you do see PartinG try and hold in a pretty forward location. Now he uses all of his Phoenix energy lifting SCV, so while that's good economic damage, it does mean less energy on these Phoenix to then deal with units across the map. He catches the second Banshee, so that's obviously not great either for Kua. But yeah, it means the Phoenix don't really have lift energy to kind of help against these tanks, Cyclone, and the Marines, so maybe that's a bit more of a problem. Like I said, the good thing about the push on this top side is that you do have range on this gateway, Cybercore, and Pylon very easily, so they should start a fall when you get high ground vision. But of course, he doesn't have high ground vision because he lost the Banshees. So yeah, the whole idea of Kua's push is kind of falling apart a little bit as we speak. Phoenix just poised to the left-hand side, and Observer gets shot down by the missile turrets that are building to help out against these Phoenix as well. Kua really going to try and solidify this location. We'll lose an SCV building the bunker. Nice little lift there from the Phoenix. I actually love the Disruptor as the choice from the Robo-Bay. The Disruptors are a really good way to slowly kind of break this down. You can see this tank has to relocate, spread out a little bit. Tank's actually just going to come up onto the ramp here. I actually don't like it now, because now he's blocking these Marines from getting away, so they're stuck in the main. It feels like this entire setup is actually just falling apart a little bit here for Kua's PartinG. And a really nice defense. There's a Viking to the left side that the Phoenix will probably want to jump on. He loses two of the Phoenix. Cyclones with some damage to going out as well, although one of them now lifted. The Phoenix get their revenge. Kua's position down here, I'd say this actually went better for Kua than I felt it did. Oh my god, this Disruptor though just kills a Cyclone and a bunch of Marines. Yeah, Kua's like ... The Disruptor is actually such a good shutdown unit on this little push up the ramp. I do feel like PartinG actually lost more than I was expecting him to. It feels like, you know, all of a sudden his Stalker count was 0-0, but of course the Phoenix still around. The Disruptor's still being kept alive, and so it is still going to be deadly. I mean, it's the units you can afford to lose in amongst all of this. As the tank's still firing, a couple of Vikings still chilling out overhead as well. Another volley of the Disruptor, and is going to get a siege tank there as Vikings trying to come into play. I mean, that's going to get picked off by Stalkers, and now this is finally a true defense. PartinG will break this position. He'll take down the missile turrets that are covering it, and that will be Kua shut down. Now, behind all of this, Kua... Oh my god, he only just started the third CC. Yeah, okay, Kua's in trouble, guys. His stim pack is very late. His extra racks aren't here yet. His third CC's just started. Kua is in a really awful position to try and come back in this game. He's just very far behind. The commitment to this attack has been high, and so now he's not really set up to play all of those things that he's meant to. I mean, right now these Phoenix are actually just having a wild time. Kua's struggling to get rid of these in time. The Viking pops out as well. This tank actually survives as some other bits and pieces get lifted up. The Phoenix will just turn around for the Viking too. I'm kind of surprised the siege tank survived so long. He'll get it again now. He's obviously targeting some other bits and pieces. He does lose a couple Phoenix here, but again, I think they're already quite far ahead as PartinG. And as far as you're concerned, you're trading out units for very important units of Kua that he needs to survive. And so this big push is likely just to maybe not end the game right away. Disruptors are going to struggle to push into a Terran, especially up a ramp into a wall-off, but you're going to start picking away at some depots here, and you're just going to keep on making Kua's life very miserable because, again, he is not set up in a good position at all at the moment. Observer sets up on the natural. Just going to see a couple of Vikings coming over, and Disruptors straight up going to blow... Well, he's going to blow up the engineering bay with the Stalker shots as well. I was going to say, didn't expect that to drop so quickly, but yeah, Disruptors are pretty powerful. Temple Archives of PartinG in the main base as well, so that will be coming up and done in a few moments' time. 4 bases across the board as PartinG takes a natural expansion also. That's that going. The combat shield's about halfway done. Concussive shells plus 1 attack still coming in. The Phoenix pull away back down to the bottom side. As PartinG will just back away, so he's just going to say, well, yeah, no rush from me just yet. Already has the 4th base up and running as Cure tries to land the 3rd CC. You'll see maybe PartinG could just relocate the entire attack to the bottom side and actually just go through the bottom and just attack here now. Bit easier than pushing up the ramp into the walled off position. At least here, even if it gets walled off, you're already on the high ground, right? So that does help quite a bit. It's definitely a tougher base to hold in that regard. As PartinG comes out in through this bottom center. But the Colossus now in play. He has a second one done. Extended Thermal Lance is ready. The second Colossus, there it is, just making its way up and down a couple of cliffs. Kira's got to fight this, and it's not going to be pretty. Now, he does have a +1 attack upgrade lead, but there's so much splash damage involved. There's so many Zealots. Well, this is going to be even worse if he's out across towards the top. He just has no information either as to where the hell PartinG is. So, Kira is playing very blind to his opponent and what his opponent is up to. As you see, the Stalker is able to pick off a medevac here. The Bioforce of Cure ready to go. For a moment, I thought that Disruptor was going to die. As the Zealots come charging through. A couple of shots going off. The Zealots going to get here. Disruptor's coming into this. Oh my god, the Disruptor on the mineral line was disgusting. Well, Zealots are going to clean up going up the ramp. Disruptor here going to find a few more units as well. The Colossus is just firing whatever they fancy, and he's got full control in the main, so reinforcements aren't going to do much. PartinG will pick up a victory here in week 1 of the WardiTV Spring Championship. GG's from him. Able to take down Q 2-1. Get some points.